A more pertinent question to ask about the word woke might be, why in such a short time has it gone from a rallying cry to a pejorative? If the word only made you think of rational, deserved causes like teaching a less whitewashed version of American history, AOC would still want to own it. But it's a joke because it makes you think of people who wake up offended and take orders from Twitter, and their oversensitivity has grown tiresome.
All right, let's dive into Bill Maher's newest political controversy, because this one didn't just spark a debate. It practically set the entire Democratic playbook on fire. Maher has never been afraid to speak his mind, but this time he went beyond criticism. He tore the left's approach apart, piece by piece. And honestly, it sounded like the reality check the Democratic Party has needed for years, but still refuses to face. Maher started with a simple but powerful question. How did the word woke go from being a badge of pride to a punchline? Not too long ago, that word was everywhere, printed on protest signs, written in bios across social media. Stay woke was the slogan of a movement, but now, the same people who once shouted it proudly are running from it like it's something shameful. Maher made it clear why that happened. These days, when people hear woke, they don't think about justice or fairness. They picture online activists staying up at 3 a.m., scrolling for something new to cancel. He's right. The word stopped meaning awareness and started meaning outrage. It became a never-ending cycle of moral outrage, where someone is always offended by something new, a statue, a joke, a costume, even a word. According to Maher, this constant oversensitivity has worn everyone down, not just conservatives, but regular liberals too. Many are tired of having to watch every word around people who are supposed to be on their side. But Maher didn't stop with culture. He went straight for the Democratic Party itself. He accused the DNC of ignoring how the woke wing has been dragging them down for years. That far-left bubble, he said, didn't just hurt them, it helped them lose elections. Instead of learning from that, Democrats doubled down, trying to please the fringe. And Maher warned that's political suicide. You could almost feel the silence in the room when he said it, because deep down, even longtime Democrats know he's right. Hardly anyone calls themselves a liberal anymore. Instead, you hear progressive, moderate, or independent thinker. Maher's point was sharp. If you're ashamed of your own label, what does that say about your movement?
You never hear anyone bragging about being a liberal. There's no liberal Bob Schmohawk as a liberal who wants to enact more liberal policies. Democrats might want to think about what that means, because the implication is you're embarrassed by what liberalism has become, that the term is now irredeemably coupled with woke nonsense, which is a shame. Because despite their nonsense, it's still generally a better product. But what does it say about your brand if you don't want to say what you...
Republicans, Maher said, wear their conservatism like armor. Democrats, meanwhile, act like their beliefs are an old sweatshirt they only wear at home. That's what Maher meant. Confidence. Like it or not, Republicans own who they are. Democrats seem lost. Try to please everyone, afraid to offend anyone, and forgetting what they actually stand for. Maher reminded them, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And right now, he said, the DNC looks like it's flat on the ground. The real irony, he added, is that liberals love talking about identity politics, but the one identity they've stopped defending is being liberal itself.
So much of liberal politics nowadays is identity politics, and yet it seems we found the one thing liberals won't identify as: liberals.
Think about that. They'll passionately defend every fringe because they find online. But when it comes to standing up for liberalism, the very foundation of their beliefs, they go silent. Why? Because the woke crowd twisted the movement into something it was never meant to be. Liberalism used to mean free speech, open debate, and individuality. Now it's been taken over by people who try to silence anyone who disagrees. Maher pointed out that today's liberals don't debate, they delete. They don't persuade, they shame. They replace real values with public performance. And when AOC tried to clap back by saying woke is just a word old people use now, Maher didn't even need to answer. The irony spoke for itself. The same people who turned woke into a rallying cry now act embarrassed by it. You can't just drop a word because it stopped making you look good. You built this movement. Now you're running from it.
James Carville knew how to win, and he blamed the Democratic losses this November 2nd on stupid wokeness, to which AOC fired back that wokeness is a term almost exclusively used by older people these days. So that should tell you all you need to know. What? This is a term folks like you brought out very recently and had been proudly displaying at every march since. Just last year, The Guardian declared woke the word of our era. I guess they didn't get the memo from the Mean Girls Club. We don't use that emoji anymore. Woke, please. We say fetch now.
But Maher didn't just focus on the term. He went after the thinking behind it. He argued that the real problem isn't the word woke. It's the nonsense attached to it. The belief that gender is only a social concept, that merit doesn't matter, that even math is somehow biased. The same attitude that wants to rewrite history and erase anyone who doesn't fit today's moral tests.
A great strategy, never missing an opportunity to remind voters how lame and clueless and hopelessly uncool they are, especially since those are the ones who actually vote. But okay, fine. What word would you like us to use for the plainly insane excesses of the left that are not liberalism, but something completely different? Because you can't have that word liberal from us and think it should cover things like canceling Lincoln and teaching third graders they're oppressors. That's all your new thing.
And here's the kicker. Even as activists ditch the woke label, they're still pushing the same ideas. They're not letting go of the ideology. They're just rebranding it. New hashtags, new slogans, but the same recycled beliefs. Changing the name doesn't change what's inside.
A more pertinent question to ask about the word woke might be, why in such a short time has it gone from a rallying cry to a pejorative? If the word only made you think of rational, deserved causes like teaching a less whitewashed version of American history, AOC would still want to own it. But it's a joke because it makes you think of people who wake up offended and take orders from Twitter, and their oversensitivity has grown tiresome.
Maher also criticized AOC and the DNC's media strategy, or rather, their lack of one. He joked that he'd love to have AOC on his show, but she'd never come because Democrats only appear where they'll be praised. And he's got a point. When was the last time you saw a Democrat face tough questions on Fox News or a platform that challenges them? They prefer friendly interviews where the host agrees and the crowd applauds. Maher called it political karaoke. Safe, predictable, and meaningless. His advice? Go where the audience isn't already cheering for you. Step out of the comfort zone. Debate opponents instead of blocking them. Because if your ideas can't handle tough questions, maybe they're not as strong as you think.
I would love to have AOC on this show. There's so much to admire there. I was one of her first supporters for the Green New Deal idea. But that will probably never happen because Democrats don't go anywhere these days where they're not pre-adored. And that's my last bit of advice to them. Go where the amen corner isn't. Do Fox News. Be brave. Come here. Go everywhere. Winning is about expanding.
And again, he's right. The DNC's biggest issue isn't passion. It's confidence. They hide behind buzzwords and polished statements instead of facing real problems and explaining why they keep losing. Maher's frustration echoes what many moderates and independents feel. They look at the left and think, do you even hear yourselves anymore? He reminded them that the average American voter isn't a Twitter influencer or an academic from a big city. The average voter is a white person in their 50s, without a college degree, who watches incest and doesn't care about pronouns. That's not an insult. It's just the truth. Yet Democrats keep talking past those people instead of to them. You can't win votes by constantly calling half the country racist, ignorant, or privileged. That's not strategy, it's self-sabotage. Remember the Virginia governor's race? Republicans won 45 counties by more than 70%. And Democrats' response? That's just racism. Really? That's a conclusion, that kind of arrogance. The refusal to self-reflect is what's pushing voters away. You can't keep blaming white supremacy every time you lose. At some point, you have to look in the mirror.
I know liberals think this country is full of dumb white people, but in our democracy, dumb white people make up a substantial portion of the vote. The median voter is a white person in their 50s who didn't go to college. Their favorite TV show is NCIS. And their pronouns are what? I don't know what the f you're talking about, and get away from me. In 2008, Republicans only won 4 Virginia counties by more than 70%. This month, in the governor's election there, they did it in 45 counties. And this is what a lot of Democrats were told was the reason for that. Glenn Youngkin's win proves white ignorance is a powerful weapon. Racism still works in Virginia. It's not the messaging, folks. This country simply still loves white supremacy.
Maher even joked that vote Democrat because white people suck might as well be the party's unofficial slogan. And honestly, he's not wrong. That's how the message often sounds. Like trying to ask someone out by saying, hey, you're ugly, but go out with me anyway. It's absurd. You don't win people's trust or elections by insulting the very voters you need.